I'm a beast, got jungle fever. Don't smoke, but a breakdown, the chiba, the chiba. Feel my senorita, you should meet her. Buenos dias, clean cut, bitch impressed with stock beamers. I'm on property, dual citizen with the visa. My niggas Ninja Turtles, call me Martrice Sensei. Knock him, mold me a nigga, get out.
Hello and welcome to Ghetto Poet Podcast. I'm your ghost with the most, Bella Martrice. And guess what? We have a super dope artist in the building. His name is J.R. Rice. He is a black man. He's a writer, a teacher, event host. He's a curator, spoken word artist, born and raised in Oakland, California.
Oakland.
He has his bachelor's in creative writing and an English education teacher credential from San Francisco State University of Long Beach. And while studying abroad in Greece, he was mentored by author George Crane. His novel Broken Pencils earned the 2024, you feel me, Literary Titan Golden Book Award, 2024 Pencraft Summer Best Book Award, winner for young adults coming of age fiction, and the 2024 Hawthorne Prize finalist for Best Fiction. He is also the author of poetry book I Was, Am, Will Be. And to learn more about our super dope artist, writer, and fly guy from Oakland, that's a black man, please visit his website. We'll have all the information pretty soon. So how are you doing, Mr. J. Rice?
I am fine and dandy like cotton candy.
That's what's up. So you have all these, this is new.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
I'm taking it all in, absorbing. This has been a wild year for me. I launched my first novel. I went on a book tour, and yeah, it's been challenging balancing my work life with this whole like new journey that I'm going on. But I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah.
That's dope. Okay, I just went on my first book tour. Was this your first book tour?
Yeah.
So how was it?
It was. Oh, it's all good. The book tour. It was at first I was super nervous. I had high expectations. I was really hoping like all my friends would come through. I would get these big crowds and what I was used to seeing like at the open mics and at the different showcases that I would go to. But then on my first event, I was in Peninsula Collective Books over at Westlake Center. I only had about four people. Four people show up, and I was like, at first I thought like, man, nobody loves me. My mom came through. Two other people came through that found out about it on the flyer. And one person who happened to just be in the bookstore that came in. Yeah, so the book tour has been good exposure. It's also been kind of reality check for me. Just learning like, I need to put in a lot of work. Like this book ain't gonna drive itself. So it's been a hard experience, but been enjoying it so far. Yeah.
You know what's really good about you is that you're very memorable.
Oh, thanks.
I think that's a really good tool that you have, like as far as being a performer. Because I've seen you perform, and first of all, I like the way you dress. It sets you apart from everybody, for one. So I like your swag, and then when you actually perform and the things you're saying, it's captivating. You're like, what is this guy gonna say in this text with this? You know what I'm saying? With this fly giddy up. So I feel like you have really good marketing tools, like. Maybe those aren't marketing tools. That's just you, but you are memorable.
Well, when I first started doing the whole poetry thing, I used to just wear white button-ups. And I remember I used to go to Gold Beams the second Mondays a lot. And they would recognize me as just, hey, that's a white shirt dude. I had to switch it up. But I actually kind of took my style from, I really like the whole Harlem Renaissance look.
Yeah.
one of my biggest inspirations and role models is Langston Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
So really just like the whole kind of tweeted vest, kind of old college professor kind of look. I really like that. So kind of I adopted that as like my uniform. But I don't go to sleep in this. Or nothing. This is just my my performing outfit. Yeah. And in terms of marketing, I just know like I gotta be my biggest cheerleader. Like so I'm like super wild on stage. Like I apply for myself.
You have to.
Yeah, so I try to shout out my brand and my social media as much as possible and push it as much as possible, just be my own cheerleader. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I remember this is the third poetry book, and we've always done it as a group. So I've never done it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we all did the book tour together. We
Mm.
all, did everything together.
Yeah.
So I have a unique experience. Like when it comes to being published, I'm actually working on a novel right now.
Oh,
I could totally send you some stuff.
okay.
So, but like I've had like a completely different experience. So, what do you think is like one thing that you've learned as far as like, especially with the book tour? Because I don't think people understand what a book tour is. Well, would you explain what a book tour is, and then
Um, most folks, I mean, just I, I put it in relation to like a music tour, but it's not. You're not on a tour bus. You don't have a bunch of screaming fans waiting for you. At least not yet. But it's just a book tour would be you going from to different bookshops, different bookstores, even um, writing conventions and just speaking engagements, and you just going along these different events to promote your book and promote your product. Same thing like any kind of music artist would do with their album. Um, yeah, and as the book on a book tour, most folks hit up like small indie press or small bookstores. I was very fortunate enough. I made it into about four different Barnes and Nobles, um, which was big for me because as a kid, I would spend my weekends in Barnes and Nobles. Like I'll be just in the just reading all the magazines or reading the comics and the graphic novels. Like I wouldn't buy anything, just be sitting there like like treating it like a library. And then just being able to be in those spaces
that's
now
big.
it was just tremendous for me. It was a big deal. I remember I did an event at Barnes and Noble in Modesto, and they gave me a whole 2 hours. And they were like, "Hey, yeah, do what you want." And I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Yeah, if you want to perform, if you want to read, if you want to just sit and sell." Like, so anyway, they let me. I was up in there performing right in the middle of Barnes and Nobles. I was reading. I was reciting my poetry, being loud as hell. People just like in the aisles looking at me like I was crazy. It was fun. One thing I remember from that, the biggest thing I remember from that, just me setting up my stuff. Um, Set up my banner, had my books laid out, and I was about to start the event. And these three little boys came up to me, um, and they must have been maybe like 6 or 7, and they saw my book, they saw my banner, they saw me all dressed up, and they were like, oh, and I gave them a bookmark, and they were like, oh, you wrote a book, that's crazy. And they were like big old eyes and everything. They grabbed their dad, like, dad, you wrote a book, you wrote a book. And then they were asking me to sign the bookmark. I was like, I don't know about all that. They were asking me about the book, wanted to buy it. I was like, well, it's not appropriate for kids. I was like, well, when I grow up, I want to buy your book. And I thought that was like so cool. Like these little boys didn't even know who I was, but they thought it was cool, and because I wrote a book. And then it also made me think like one of the benefits of doing a book tour, and you probably experienced this too. Like not many people actually meet the authors. Like people read these books and people see the authors on TV or whatever, but to actually see them in person, that's a whole different experience. And I didn't realize that until I was actually doing these book events. Yeah, these little kids looking at me like I'm Black Panther or something. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's what's up. You know what? What about I think it's such a dope experience to being black in black spaces. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Hmm.
get to be your black self. You get to talk about black issues. Your How does that feel for you? Because I know there's times where I'm like, I could cuss.
Yeah.
I could. I'm not being hushed for my opinion. I'm not being. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so how does that feel for you?
Um, it, I don't try, I'm not timid. And my books and my work, it does center on just black people and their experiences, and try to tell narratives centered on just the black experience. Um, and I'm very fortunate to do it. The only unfortunate thing, and this is no shade towards people out there, I maybe this is also something I need to work on more, but the events that I've gone and read at, the people attending are primarily white women,
Hmm.
and or old white women or people just who don't look like me.
Hmm.
And so one, I guess it's good, and it's a little bit of a benefit, also a drawback. The benefit is I'm able to kind of share these stories, share these narratives to people who to non-black people, and get them connected and have them grow this awareness of what we're going through. But the drawback is that I wrote my work for Black people, and it it irks me a little bit to see, like, man, I wish more of my people actually come out and support and stuff. Yeah. But that's also, and but now I don't want to come off like a hater, because I'm also in spaces like with you, like you reaching out and you supporting me, also what you did with other people, like I know with Mo Ministry, even like you bringing on my homie Jeremy. I saw that whole podcast, like you doing great stuff. And I just
Thank you.
wish more and more places are doing that to support.
Oh, I'm gonna send you more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, because I
See,
do.
maybe I'm just too ignorant and all
No,
that.
I just think that sometimes we're connected because there's a lot of resources that, you know what I'm saying, maybe that you have that I,
Hmm.
could be supported in. And I
Yeah.
think that that's honestly, that's my objective with this platform,
Hmm.
so I'm glad that, we're having that conversation.
Yeah.
So hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So any of the people, any listeners out there, holla at him, you know what I'm saying? He wanna work. And he got these books, and he also want, what I'm saying, to be tapped into the black community. So I have a question.
Please, I might have an answer.
How did you develop your unique talents?
Hmm. Can I take it back?
Yeah,
Can I take it way back?
way back.
Way back.
Way back.
Um, I always love rap. I always love just hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
One of my first like big inspirations was like Slick Rick in Children's Story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I tried to yeah, when I was like 13, I was experimenting a lot with different rap that wasn't really working. Um,
Okay, so
and
you was rap.
yeah, yeah.
What was your name?
Oh, snap. It was Blaze John. I couldn't do John Blaze. I got John Blaze from like Method Man.
Oh, okay,
But I
okay.
couldn't do that. So my people there call me Blaze John. Um, and then everybody was thinking I was like a pothead and stuff, but it had nothing to do with just smoking. It was just like just blazing the mic.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah. But yeah, me falling into poetry was me kind of transitioning, switching just BS kind of raps and just kind of focusing on my own trauma. So when I was going to try to take it back when I was like 13, and my I lost my best friend from a car accident, and he was
Mm.
like a big brother to me. He was also the son of my mom's best friend. So it
Oh,
was like that was a connection. And so I lost him from a car accident, and that was like the first big death in my life. And um, I just couldn't really grasp it. Just like, oh man, I used to see this guy like almost every other day, and this guy like taught me how to dress. This guy taught me how to talk to girls and all this stuff.
yeah.
And just all of a sudden, I just lost him. from car accident. And then, so for me to kind of cope with this loss, I just dived into this poetry. I started writing my first poem. It was called "Why." It was just a whole list of questions, asking God why you do this, why do people have to die, why is life like this? Yeah, and then I just felt like every time I went through some kind of big emotion, I would just dive it into a poem. Um, and eventually that developed, and I learned like to create work that is driven by emotion, whether it's love or it's anger or it's just I want to inspire or it's hope or something. Let's just try to make stories driven by some kind of a human emotion. Yeah, that was a long answer, but yeah.
No, so in depth. No, you answered the question. So
All right.
that's the objective. Is to
Yeah.
give a good answer. That was a good answer. So how long did it take you to write? I don't know which book. How about your novel? So how long did it take for you to write your novel? What was your biggest challenge or
Um,
biggest challenges?
yeah. I remember writing this book for a minute. Been on and off with it. I wrote my first draft. Well, okay, it took me about 15 years. 15 years. Oh, I don't know if that's
No, it's
15?
worth. I feel like that's dope that you got it done. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Which one was your first?
This was my first
Broken
official.
Pencils.
Yep.
Okay.
And I wrote a somewhat first draft out of college. Graduated
Mhm.
from Cal State Long Beach. Long Beach. Um, and yeah, I had like a somewhat draft. It was something, and I tried to submit it to different publishers, and they were like, no, 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 and just kept going back and tweaking it, adding to it, and yeah, it just took me about 15 years, and I gave up a lot of different times, and I put it to the side. Then came back and started working on it some more. But um, I'm glad I didn't fully give up, and I just kept submitting it to different publishers. I got probably about 1,000 different rejections. Um,
Damn.
yeah, I got, and then the feedback. I did workshops. I submitted to specific people. I got feedback like it has potential, or one person said it was boring. Um,
But you got published because now everybody's self-published, which I don't know
Right.
if it means that
yeah,
much.
yeah, and we can talk about that too. The difference between self-published and
See,
publishing.
and that's what I was gonna say. See, I
Yeah.
didn't go through that process. So do you think that, let's say for example, when you first start, how long ago was it when you first start submitting the book?
Oh, I've been submitting this thing forever.
Okay.
But okay, answer your question directly. Maybe about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, like when I felt like I had to really the draft. The draft was like really done. Yeah, I want to say about 3 years ago. And then it was picked up by a small indie press in North Carolina called Tea with Coffee Media.
Mm.
They picked it up last year. They hit me up around this time too, around December. They're like, they had read it. The president of the company, he read it overnight. He was really blown away. And this was this white guy from North Carolina, but he related to my protagonist. Um, and yeah, he hit me up a week later after he read it. He sent it to his whole team. They gave it the green light. He hit me up like, "Hey, is your book still open? Still available?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" We did like a big Zoom call with his whole team. And they laid out their offer, and I was like, "Hell yeah!" I did get offers before. I got some shitty offers. Um, yeah.
So since I did the times I was published, I published with the same organization I've been working with since I was like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I've never been through that process. So when you're going, like, what exactly is that process? What's the benefits? What's the drawbacks? And let's say, for example, if somebody would have picked up that book 10 years ago, would you have published it 10 years ago. Do you get what I'm saying?
It wouldn't have been what it is now.
Okay,
So
you
I'm
needed
fortunate.
that
I
time.
needed it in 15 years.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was spiteful the whole time and bitter, like all these rejections that I took a lot of it personally.
That
But I
is a
needed
lot
it.
of tenacity. 1,000 rejections.
Probably more, but yeah. Emails, uh, mail, Texas. Yeah. But yeah, I think I just had to develop a hard skin about it.
Right. What kind of internal dialogue? Like, what did you have to tell yourself? Because I'm just thinking about, like, a lot of people really don't go through rejection like the way they think they have
Yeah.
in life. So, what kind of things did you say to yourself when you were going through that rejection? Because I feel like a lot of people maybe they don't understand that maybe when you're going for your dreams and your goals, that's a part of it is being rejected. You know?
Yeah, the internalization, the internal dialogue is real. The internal bully is real.
Mm.
That questioning your own self-worth, like, am I valuable? Um, why am I doing this? Is it even worth it? I had to fight that a lot. Yeah,
What were your tools though?
same kind of tools I try to use with my own mental health.
Mhm.
Just trying to maintain some kind of faith in what I'm doing. Believing that like there's something bigger to this, that me personally that has some kind of bigger purpose,
Mhm.
and that this is gonna make um, some kind of hopefully bring some kind of change in someone else's life. I try not, so with the people just going in my ear like, hey, this ain't good, like maybe you should stop and stuff. Like I did have to kind of block that stuff out. Um, yeah, it was hard. Like I spent like weekends in the libraries, writing out drafts, rewriting drafts. There was times I didn't go out with my friends, or I wasn't with my girlfriends at the time, um, because I wanted to focus on writing. So I had to make all these different sacrifices. And in retrospect, like I did lose, excuse me, I did lose a lot of time with people that were very close to me. Lost a lot of different fun opportunities. Um, y- yeah, give one example. I didn't get invited. I didn't get invited to my best friend's wedding because I was locked myself in my apartment, finishing the final draft of this. Uh, so yeah, I lost a lot, but in the end, like with him and I, we're so cool. He's probably gonna look at this and be like, "Why you talking about me, man?" He knows who he is. But it's all good. Like those sacrifices I made, even just the rejection I went through, just kind of made me stronger and made me appreciate like being here and what that came of it.
That's,
Yeah, yeah.
so was there any unexpected insights or discoveries like along that journey?
Um, that the publisher will only do so much. I had a great team who edited the book. I had about like 3 different editors,
Okay.
which was great. Had a lady help me with the book cover. I had an
I was
artist,
gonna ask you.
professional artist do the cover for this book as well as my other
Mhm.
books. It was good having the team. Um, however, um, there was a lot of back and forth with my editor, a lot of back and forth with the cover art, the lady who did my design. Just I didn't know how, like, if I were to do this myself, it
Mhm.
probably would be easier. But in terms of just creating the design of the book, we went through 14 drafts over the course of maybe 2 months. And when I say like drafts,
Oh my
this lady
god.
had to redo the whole design of the book. Uh, and I know she was mad at me. And so there were a lot of Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth, and this is all through emails. So, for example, when I say redo a draft, I will go through the draft like, oh, there's a typo. Oh, there's an extra space after this paragraph.
Oh, and you're a
Uh,
teacher, so you're in an English
I just see all
major,
this,
so you see all
and
this.
then I took the lady like, hey, there's a mistake on page 97. It's a mistake here, and then so she would have to go back, and for you to check. And here's the crazy thing I didn't know. Were you using like Adobe Express or Adobe Acrobat, whatever,
Mhm.
whatever, blah blah blah. If you make one change, that changes
Oh
everything in the whole
no, oh
book.
no.
Like if you indent one paragraph, that shifts a
The
whole
whole,
page to another page. So when you make one change, you gotta change the whole
I've
page.
had things like that happen. That is so horrible.
I didn't realize it was so crazy like that. So when I say the lady had to do 14 drafts, she had to do that, and yeah, she was not happy. We got in email arguments, which is weird. um, yeah. So and then you know what? Another thing happened. Um, I might as well just say it. So after that whole back and forth, I noticed there was some friction with my publisher. They were lacking on my book tour scheduling. They weren't scheduling any places, all sorts of stuff. And I was complaining, calling them out on a lot of different things because they weren't upholding my contract. So anyway, long story short, my book came out June 11th
Mhm.
this year. My publisher sent me an email probably the next week, I don't know, June 19th or something, saying they were going to go out of business.
Oh
They're shutting
my
down.
God. I know he was like, not today.
And I don't know if I should say too much, but they said it was because of mental stress, mental health stress. And they felt too overwhelmed. So at the end of June, almost 3 weeks after my book was published, my publisher went out of business.
Oh no. So you was left to carry
Yeah.
your book.
So the book is published. It's officially published and everything.
Mhm.
But crazy thing, another thing that happened, they ripped up my contract, or they email ripped up, whatever that means. So here's another crazy thing. I have full rights to my book. So yeah, I have full rights. Like first, I signed a contract. I shouldn't even be saying all this. I signed a contract.
Well, then don't sign it. Don't say it.
No, most folks probably don't know this. With a lot of publishing contracts, which is better than music contracts. So I got a 60/40 deal. 60/40 is for every. So my book sells for about $17. So for every book I gets sold, I get 60 on
on every dollar.
yeah, something like that. And then the publisher gets the 40.
40%. Okay.
Yeah. Now that they have lifted the contract,
You
I'm
get
a free
100?
agent. I get 100%.
So do you want a new publisher?
Now that's what my mom asked me. I don't know. It would be nice if I had a team behind me.
Right.
But I don't want to get caught up in another contract or obligation.
You were just under that contract for very little time, then they
Yeah.
went under.
Yep.
I would be so
Let's
scared
just
of
use a
contracts.
line from Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? I mean, what did they do? What did they do for you in that time?
They gave me my baby. They also gave me my shot. Like if it wasn't for them.
You mean it was they ran the presses?
Yeah, they also covered the bill for the cover art. They also covered the bill for the editing.
Okay.
It was their team that put it all together. Like if I were to run the bill on myself, here's another thing that most folks don't know. To really put out a professional, good like kind of book that you see.
Right, in
Yeah,
borders.
yeah.
Right, in borders.
It's going to be about 10 G's.
Right.
At least. So.
And what about because you have really good marketing material also.
Yeah. So yeah, a little over 10. Man, I don't know.
So they put a lot of money in marketing and producing it.
And then they went under, which is crazy. Dude just like, hey, I respect you, man. I love your stuff. I'm gonna give you this. I was like, okay. They gave me all the files, all the originals, everything.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
You
it's
kind of
crazy.
won.
I did
You
win.
won. Like, ding, ding, ding. Nah, you
I
won the
did.
grand prize. So with the so I want to talk about the book. So Broken Pencil
Uh-huh.
follows a turbulent teenager from Oakland who, on his 18th birthday, spirals into a night of reckless indulgence. Reckless. Searching for purpose and meaning in life. What was the inspiration for the setup of your story?
A lot of it came from true events in my life. I won't say too much. I did have a very crazy prom. Very crazy prom.
Okay, so this started prom night.
Yeah, a lot of the premise of the story is based on something that really happened in my life. Or I won't say too much because my mama might be listening. But I had a very crazy prom where I did have a big argument with my girlfriend at the time. We broke up at prom. Um, then she started, she started doing some stuff with one of my friends at the time. Um, yeah, and then I found out I ended up leaving the prom, and then I ended up going to a certain place to take my mind off things. Um, yeah, all around, and this is when I had just turned like 18. So the premise of it is based on a really, really wild night that I had at during my senior prom. I did embellish a lot. I did make it so that it does kind of play out like a movie. Um, so reading it, there's a lot, it's still fiction. It's still fiction. A lot of people will be asking me like, man, did this really happen to you? Especially folks that close to me, like they're like, man, is this based on like so and so? Like, was this what's her name? But yeah, it's mostly fiction, and a lot of the characters within the book are how to say this, like a amalgamation of people or composites of people in my life. Like one of the main characters in here is his name is Trayvon. He's Jonah Tarver's the main character's best friend, but he's based on all of my homies from high school. It's just like a composite of all of them.
Right, that's
Yeah.
dope.
So yeah, same thing with the girlfriend character in the book. Her name is Tanisha. She's based on a lot of my exes and just put them all together. So that's how I drew a lot of inspiration for the characters. Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
So, are you going to give us like a sneak peek at a book at any time today?
hmm Let me know. Let me know.
Let's do it right now because I feel
Yeah.
like you done already opened up the book.
Okay.
Because I read some of it online
hmm
and I was like, ooh.
It's good. My hope is to hopefully get it turned into maybe adapted on screen, get it turned into a movie or TV pilot.
Ain't no damn hope. You just got like, hey, what's up, TV? What's up, movie? We need to put this in a movie right now.
Yeah, I've done script writing, so yeah, we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So the book is called Broken Pencils. Oh, real quick. So can I talk about the title? Yeah. So it's called Broken Pencils because and I brought a pencil and it's broken. It's broken. So you take a pencil and you break it at the end. Usually it's pointless.
Right.
Yeah. So the main character, his name is Jonah Tarver, and he's a young black teen from Oakland. And he believes that all lives are like broken pencils. He believes that life is pointless. So on the night of his senior prom, and also the anniversary of his best friend's death, he's trying to discover his point in life.
Us.
Or uncover the fraud. Just a bunch of broken pencils. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, it's a book that deals with grief, it deals with mental health, it deals with existentialism, it deals with substance abuse, racism, classism, family, love, all sorts of things. All from like a perspective of a young teen. But I try to make it universal enough that anybody can relate to it, anyone who picks it up. Yeah, mostly I've been getting a lot of good praise from it. People really connected to it. Uh, yeah, it's been working out. So sorry, that was a long intro. I'm gonna just read just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read from the prologue, and this is actually the prologue's called Mosswood. Mosswood. And this is based on
Muscle part.
yeah, Mosswood Park. Yeah. So sorry, I'm doing a lot of prefacing. I'm a teacher. I get super animated, so I might make some sound.
Good. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So prologue. Mosswood. Woo! Sirens jolted my senses. Blue and red lights blinded my sight. Within my blurry vision appeared a parked police car. Loud static erupted from inside, and then it hit me. My bed was a bench. No loiters in Mosswood Park before 6 a.m., a male voice said. Please vacate. The warm sunrise caressed my cold face and stiff body. My bandaged hand wiped the dry crust from my eyes and then smeared the grime onto the bench. The Kaiser Hospital stood across the street, the place where I was born 18 years ago today. Behind the bench stood a yellow sign that stated, Looking for a better home? Under the banner was an Asian lady with this constipated Mona Lisa smile. She wore an 80s tan suit straight from Claire Huxtable's closet, an outfit my mama would have worn back in the day when life was simple, our family happy, before Keon, before the medication, before prom. Please vacate the park now, the voice ordered. Woo! The ringing siren screamed louder and louder and louder, deafening my ears. Woo! Woo! The loop circus whistle rang far and wide, awakening all of Mosswood Park. Within moments, dawn broke through the tall oak trees. The bushy leaves casted a shadow through which no light traveled. Then the ground rumbled as the bench rattled. 3 brown squirrels sprinted across the grassy field. Vroom, vroom, vroom. A roaring street sweeper had arrived at the corner of the MacArthur sign. The machines brushed like tentacles, rustled and roamed along the curved lines, moving slowly around a parked beige Mercedes. The scraped front bumper appeared to have survived the bear attack. Wait. Is that my father's car? I whispered into the cool air, already knowing the answer. Woo! The siren ceased singing. The police car lights stopped flashing. Within the stillness stirred sharp aches within my unsettled stomach. Each deep breath felt like an alien embryo begging to burst from my belly. The longer I laid on that dead bench, the more I felt like dying. My safe space was no longer a safe place. I had to leave. I needed to go, but where? The police car door opened. A black officer stepped out, wearing a navy blue uniform. His broad shoulders and toned biceps barely fit into his short-sleeved shirt. He walked around the car. He stopped in front of the bench. He studied my appearance. His right arm hung centimeters from his sidearm. What are you doing here? The officer asked. Were you sleeping on the bench? I don't know, I lied. I shook my head and rolled my body over to the bench's edge. Laying on my stomach eased the pain just a little bit. My arms hung lifeless. My fingers traced the sidewalk cracks and concrete veins. The lines led in no apparent direction, as if I was staring at my own reflection. Then the ground began spiraling, spinning my eyes. My body retreated, curling into a fetal position. Sit up, the officer ordered. I need you to talk. He lowered himself to my eye level. His brown eyes appeared as dark and bold as his complexion. His chiseled face, trimmed goatee, and no shit attitude reminded me of Denzel Washington's character in Training Day, Keon's favorite movie. What happened to your hands? He asked, and pointed to my bandages with dried blood. I don't even know anymore. Okay, let's start here, he said, and tapped his OPD badge. My name is Officer Williams. Now, what's your name? Name? Son, don't tell me you don't know who you are. I shook my head again and sat up straight, cringing with a stretch. My name, my real name is Jonah Tarver. But I'm both. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
It was so poetic. You know what's funny? It reminded me of seeing you perform poetry. That was really poetic.
Thank you.
You know, I like the descriptions of everything. I felt like I was there. I've been a mouse wood before.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm,
So Jonah is a troubled teen who tries to cope with his mental health. How would you describe your protagonist, and what was your inspiration for his emotional turmoil throughout the story?
So, on paper, Jonah is a young black teen from Oakland. He's you call him middle class. Um, he has very well off parents, college educated parents. He's everything's good. Everything's you on the surface you say, wow, this kid has a good life. However, he's internally is very, very complicated. He's going through a big emotional roller coaster. He's also dealing with bipolar disorder, and he doesn't know how to cope with it. He doesn't know how to kind of manage his feelings, and so in the book, he's approaching the anniversary of his best friend's death, and also it's a senior prom, and also
The betrayal.
yeah. Also, it's his birthday the following day. So it got all these different events culminating at the same time, and there's just a lot of emotions. And so in the book, I would describe him as a very complicated young man. But his experience, the way it's going through, I try to shape it that anybody can relate to it. I wanted to make it a book about mental health and to kind of inspire, give hope to other people. Jonah is very, very much like me, just a fictionalized version of me. I have bipolar disorder. It's something I've been dealing with. I discovered after my best friend died at 13, and I went through crazy nervous breakdown. I even ran away from home, and I was very fortunate enough that my parents helped me and got me hooked me up with therapy, and that saved my life. I was on and off on therapy, um, and so Jonah's experience, I tried to create a narrative, very similar to what I experienced. Um, Yeah, not to the T, but it's very very much from me. Um, yeah.
So I have a question about the main character. So was he aware that did he have a diagnosis?
Mm. In the book,
Yeah.
yes. So that passage I read, that even though that was a prologue, that was actually the end of the book,
Oh,
which is
wow.
weird. I know. The so the part I just read, you have Jonah waking up on a park bench in the morning, and a cop discovers him. That's actually the end of the book.
Okay.
So he uh, oh, okay, run it back.
No, I was wondering, did he know he had he been diagnosed with bipolar? Like, was he aware that he was
Yes.
bipolar? Okay, so he was aware.
But at that state in the book, what I wanted to show was him actually going through a panic attack. So some of the symptoms, like him not even remembering his name, him having like this nervousness, this tightness in the stomach, just kind of showing like some of the symptoms that someone will go through when they're having like a panic attack, anxiety attack. And I've been through that plenty of times.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's good. So like, what do you hope that listeners take from this? You know what I'm saying? Like, from right now, from your book. Like, you're sharing about mental health, and I feel like that's a really big one, especially Black men.
Yeah. Well, what I hope people will take is that another reason why it took me a long time to put this book out was because I was also afraid. I knew I put a lot of my personal life and my own feelings in this book, and I was afraid of putting that out to the world. And being judged about it. Just me, even just sharing, just being bipolar is just something I don't often admit, like even to my best friends. Um, so what I hope that people will take from this is that like mental health is real, and that also it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to face your traumas. That we also we're not defined by our past. A big thing in the book is that Jonah can't let go of his past, nor that he should. His best friend passed away, and he can't get over that. Like every anniversary of his death, it just triggers him again. But my hope is for people to kind of learn, like, hey, embrace our past, but also know that we're not defined by it. We gotta still move forward. So a line that I have in one of my poems is that we are what remains from damage. We're not defined by damage. We're the survivors of damage.
That really resonated with me. I was having a thought earlier because I've been really trying to practice. I have fluctuating internal dialogue issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that was a really dope. You should put that in a car or something.
Maybe.
You should. There was somebody recently I was talking. Oh, it was she was at Grassroots Poetry.
Oh,
yeah, I know her too. Ooh, I hope she ain't watching this. But she was talking about how she was making cards. Remember, she was like, I'm about to do a Hallmark. I mean, she's not Hallmark, but she's about to start selling cards and stuff like that. I feel like one thing, like culturally, that I've struggled with shopping is buying things that speak to me. Like if I saw that card and it said that, I'd have been like, oh my God, I'm buying this damn card.
Like those inspirational prints or something.
Yeah,
I like
something
that.
dope.
I got one above my my fridge that I live by. It says dreams don't work unless you do. Dreams don't work unless you do.
I have like two on my refrigerator. I'm really like a poet type of person.
What's yours?
Life is not about finding a path. It is about creating a trail. Oh yeah, and too, I want to thank our listeners that are tuned in, and make sure you go
Thank you.
and hit up J.R. Rice on Instagram. You can check out his lower thirds. Age, I know you watching. Bring him on your podcast. So, but I think that's really important. I think for us to keep pushing our narratives and to share information. Like I really like that quote. You're gonna have to slide it to me.
I will. I was thinking about doing some kind of prints or something.
That'd
like
be
that.
good.
Yeah.
How do you envision your work contributing to the culture?
Um, Me, I do have personal goals. Like I would love it if I could get my books taught in the high schools, like taught within the classroom.
Mhm.
That's something I'm also working on privately, just my own like curriculum
That's dope.
to add to
Uh-huh.
it. Culturally, I would love it to be put in even in the OUSD curriculum. I'm also a really big fan of another a black author. His name is Jason Reynolds. He's done amazing books, all centered on just black young black men and what they go through. It's very great fictional books, and his work is taught all along all the places. And I would love to get to sort of that level. That's just a personal goal. But in terms of just helping out the culture, I want to just inspire just young people. Like this is a book about just how it is hard to be a young person and how just coming into this big world as an innocent person or just having this innocence and just coming into this big world and just having reality kind of just strip away that innocence. It can be really scary. And so I wanted to give a book kind of encapsulating that experience and that fear, but also providing some kind of hope. Like, yeah, it's going to be scary and it's confusing, all these emotions that you're going to go through, but you don't give up. Like, you got to stay strong. And that same thing, like I was saying, like you are what remains from damage. So I want to just drive this message with my book, like we um, to just push forward. So I'm hoping it and it'll help the mental health. I'm now rambling. I hope it actually helps with folks in the community, just whoever's coping with the stress of the mental health.
I
Yeah,
don't think people understand what mental health is. I think there's like it's almost like a rumor of what it is. Do you get what I'm saying? Where people just kind of take it as like good mental health starts with, let's say, fundamental things, housing, food,
yeah,
just basic things, having soap, having pads, having being safe,
yeah,
having somewhere to have adequate sleep, having clean clothes,
yeah.
not being sexually harassed, not being
Mm.
mental health is dependent of our circumstances surrounding us. I think a lot of people think mental health is like an individual thing. It's like no, a lot of the times when you're in communities that have poor mental health, it's affecting everybody. If they're shooting, that's affecting everyone negatively because they
Yeah.
don't feel safe. I'm sure every mother in a community is afraid when her child is coming home from school or leaving to school because of the gun violence
The
or
victim of circumstance or happenstance.
True.
so I feel like with that being said, that I'm glad that you're taking like an internal view of what a panic attack is like. Like I wish when I was younger, because I've always been a reader. Did you grow up like reading books?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I used to read Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I used to love Goosebumps.
Scary stories.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
OG scary
yeah.
stories.
Tell in the dark, all that.
Yep,
Love the
yep, yep.
goosebumps. Yeah.
So I feel like this generation don't have that. I don't know if they do. Like the young, like my daughter, like she's not like all crazy about like this certain book. I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid for
Yeah.
her age group was pretty big.
Well, another thing, and going back to the question, contributing to the culture, like
Hmm.
another thing I'm noticing, um, like high school students or just teenagers or these older teenagers, they don't really read. They're not absorbed in the reading. And I know people put the blame on the phones and the TikTok and all that, but like even when like my book is labeled YA, young adult, but when you go to the YA section in the bookstores, it's like Hunger Games or Harry Potter. It's like books kind of pertaining to middle schoolers or elementary kids. So what the books out now, the YA books out now, they're appealing to younger teens or even preteens.
Hmm.
But what's really being put out to for the market of those high schoolers? And I feel like they're not being catered to. And what another thing I want to hopefully contribute is that I can provide a book for those older teenagers, something that they can connect to. That other books are kind of lacking.
Right, and two, probably hooking up with mental health organizations also,
Hmm.
and using that as a curriculum to start that conversation.
Yo, side note, I had a friend. She had a cousin in juvie. She bought my book, gave the book to him. They wouldn't give him to her. They banned my book. They
What?
actually read it. Yeah, they read it. I don't know, the PO, the juvie people. They read my book. This is what she told me. See, they read the first prologue, the one I just read.
Mhm.
They couldn't give it to him because there was like offensive comments made towards
The
law
police?
enforcement. Yeah. So they're like, no, this book is banned. I was like, all right.
Wait, so in juveniles ban?
That juvenile hall, she didn't specify which one. I'm thinking, yeah, the one in Alameda or the one by off of San Leandro. But anyway, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't think like band. Like it's not on like a list, but they didn't give it to. 'Em.
I want to be banned somewhere.
That would be nice.
I know that's what I'm like, dude.
Notoriety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also kind of a badge of honor.
Yeah, not trying to get canceled though.
I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, but you should be able to
being
speak your
canceled.
mind as long as you're not hurting yourself
I
or
do
others.
not like that cancel culture because I feel like it's like if you look at the essence of cancel culture, so what you're saying is that this person no longer has the right to exist. To me, that's what it means. Like, okay, so you don't want this person to be able to make money. So then what, they not be homeless?
Yeah.
What, they're not gonna be able to eat? What, you want them to fall into poor mental health? What, you want them to kill themselves? And literally, I feel like, honestly, I think that's what they want people to do.
Yeah.
With that cancel culture. So for me, I feel like fuck cancel culture. I feel like certain actions need to be canceled.
But not the person.
There's some unforgivable shit,
Yeah.
you know, but there is some unforgivable shit. But I feel like there needs to be a dialogue, like with. I feel like some people could be, what is the word? Rehabilitate.
Got it. But do you think certain people should be removed from society?
In what way? Like, would be put in jail? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
But okay, we cancel them online and with all the stuff that you laid out. But maybe like okay, this person just shouldn't be online. This person shouldn't be acting like remove them instead. Like
But I
okay,
think it depends on who. I mean,
we
most of the
canceled R.
time,
Kelly.
who canceled R. Kelly? I'll be in my car, I still hear people play R. Kelly. And I'm gonna play damn R.
Yeah.
Kelly. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Am I going to, do I believe in what
My
he did?
mind's
No.
telling me no.
But does that make his music bad? No. So I don't,
No.
I mean, if we canceled everything according
So
to.
he's not really canceled.
Hell
We
no,
removed
he
him.
ain't.
We did,
From
removed
who?
him.
Black people ain't canceled no R. Kelly.
But we removed him from society.
Who?
R. Kelly. He's
White people remove him.
He's not a danger to society.
Oh, he's in jail. Okay,
I
that's
think
what I mean.
like
That's what you.
it depended on the person's crime or the person's deed. I think like oh we should just not like we shouldn't be fucking with that person. Like I don't believe in canceling either.
Yeah, I don't believe in canceling either.
Yeah.
But then too, I feel like there's a lot of. I don't want to get into R. Kelly, but
Yeah, that's an extreme example.
yeah, I think he's a bit of an extreme example.
Well, I think R. Kelly is the prime example of when it's the vote of contention. It's the argument that can you separate the art from the artist? In other words, or the deed from the artist in this case. So, can you still listen to his music and then is it the first thing you think about is that he's in jail and what he did? Or is it, oh, I like this song.
Yeah.
It's got a good beat. I could dance to it, whatever the deal is. So, it's like.
But if we're going to do that, we need to do that with everyone. And I noticed that there's a lopsided thing when it comes to black artists. It's like, they're being canceled, but then you have a white artist that's doing the same thing that will stay. So therefore, my thing is with cancel culture, we're always getting canceled. So with that, man, fuck them. But you call yourself a spoken word artist.
Yes.
What is the difference between being a poet versus a spoken word artist?
The whole artist part. And I think with a poet, and no, yeah, just a poet. I think also it's in terms of how they perform. So a spoken word artist is still a poet. However, it's someone who's able to perform and engage on the stage. To go beyond just like reading off a phone or just a paper. No shade to people who do
Right,
that,
right, right.
because I do that too. But going beyond that, where you are actively animating your hands, yeah, you're bringing almost like a
Theater.
show, a theater. So artist is someone who actually paints a scene and who does that. I've seen that with a lot of great people. Shout out to like Mo Ministry, like
For sure.
you,
Yeah.
Concepts, Tongo,
Uncle.
Dante Clark. Oh, you have PG on here. He's a dude.
Papi Guapo.
Yeah, I don't call him Papi Grande.
Oh, Grande.
Yeah,
I'm always
yeah.
calling. I'm messing up his
It's
name.
all
Papi Guapo, what are you calling him?
I call him Papi
Yeah,
Guapo.
but these people, they're able kind of go beyond just being just a poet where you're just limited to just the words, and then have a spoken word artist able to uh, kind of go beyond those words and have almost kind of paint a movie for the people. Um, yeah,
Do you have a background in any theater?
everybody asks me that. I did some drama in high school. That's about it. I did a monologue from Belly. Belly's my favorite movie. You seen Belly? Hey, I just got asked. Some people haven't.
No, so what's Belly?
You don't know Belly?
Never seen Belly?
It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Also
Really?
the stupidest movies.
It's a good movie. It's
But
like a black classic
yeah,
movie.
it's with DMX and
Nas.
T-Boz from TLC.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Method Man's in there.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's old. They go to like Jamaica. It's tight. You gotta watch
That
it.
must have been one of the years I was under a rock.
It's all good.
Definitely under a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the last scene of the movie when he's talking to the
DMX is such a great
yeah,
actor.
he is.
He
Look.
But he seemed like he was acting like himself.
Yeah. I
You
don't know.
gotta see that movie.
You know what I mean? Oh, that's another inspiration I take. I studied DMX. This is another weird thing. But
But
I
he
get
raw.
I get my style, like folks be asking like where you get all your sound effects and just animation stuff. Like I actually studied DMX. I love DMX. He was one of my favorite rappers still coming up. And it hurt my heart when he passed away. Yeah. Even another person I take from is ODB, Old Dirty Bastard. Um, he's super wild.
Definitely.
But he's like, I just started in terms of his character, he's just a genius. He's like, yeah, he's just weird, just does this, yeah. But listen to his music, watch what he does. Is just like they call him just jazz in the flesh. So I take a lot of influence from these wild people.
What have you noticed about other performers?
Other performers, like the good stuff or the bad stuff.
Whatever you do. Both.
I'll start with the highlights. I love it when people like cry. I know. Oh, that sounds weird. I love it when people.
Have
cry.
you ever cried when you've done a poem or something?
Yeah, I have. When I see people just like get so deep in emotion, um, yeah, well, I don't know about bringing this up. It was very triggering, but I used to slam a lot over at.
I knew you was. I was gonna ask that next.
Yeah, I used to be
could
consistent
tell.
at Berkeley Slam, and I saw one time this lady went up, talked about a sexual assault she went through in high school, and the whole poem was about her forgiving the assault guy. And she was crying on stage, and I was just like, I was feeling for her like the whole time, and it was just a whole like a pop, almost like a letter of forgiveness to her assault, the person who assaulted her, and like just seeing that, just that raw emotion, I was like, whoa, and it stuck with me. I'm still thinking about it now. That was like 2 years ago. So like when I see performers really put all of themselves into it, that
Mhm.
I think that's really powerful. Really amazing.
I knew you was. I was. That was gonna be one of my next questions. I was about to be like, you give me slammer vibes.
I did some slam.
So was you ever part of any of the slam groups?
I tried. They're probably watching or they'll watch it later. I tried. I lost.
So you would
I
be at
tried to.
the
I got.
starting plow.
Yeah. I tried to get on
That was the
the
first time I
team.
ever.
Yeah.
We had a team up in Fillmore's.
Ooh.
It was a swag slam. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is it still up?
Hell no.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even think PSI. They're not even
Mm.
up and running. But I know Starry Plow. They're still doing the same
Yeah.
thing.
When I first started out, yeah, about 2 years ago, I was going to their slam almost every other week.
Hmm.
I
When
would
is
win
it?
some, huh?
When is they slam?
It's on Wednesday evenings, and it's a hit or miss. Um, it's a hit or miss. What another thing going back to like the rejection thing, like there'd be nights where I would get all tens.
Hmm.
There'd be nights where I get all fives. And lose horribly. Um, there were nights where they do random drawings, and there were some nights I try to get there early, whatnot. I would wait for about an hour, and then they don't draw my name, so I don't get picked. So yeah, just had that kind of rejection. Just handling rejection like in the flesh in person. That could be hard.
What do you think the difference? Because I've been to open mics. I'm an open mic
Me too.
uh,
Yeah.
through and through. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I've been an open mic host since I was a teenager
Mm,
and an open mic artist.
mm-hmm.
Then when I got like observing the slam culture and then, dibble and dabbling in it,
Yeah.
it was a whole different world. Like it is completely different. What do you think the difference is? Like, what was your origins in it? Like, did you start off slam
I
or?
was actually doing, believe it or not, I was doing slam way back in college, at Cal State Long Beach. I even was going to the Poetry Lounge in LA, which
Mhm.
is super, 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 super big. But yeah, I started doing slamming way back in college. I even was fortunate enough to go to the National Collegiate Poetry Slam.
Where was it at? What
It
year?
was in Philly,
Uh,
2000, 2005, like 2005.
Tell people how cracking.
Philly is crazy.
But I'm talking about like the
Oh,
slam
oh, big,
culture.
oh man,
I don't.
yo,
I've had the opportunity to experience it. The slam community and culture when you go to these national competitions are so
crazy.
crazy.
Okay,
They're dope.
yo,
You got to go ahead and tell them
yo,
about it.
no, the craziest shit I ever seen. Craziest shit I ever seen. You seen the cipher freestyle ciphers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like just battle rap, whatever.
Hmm.
Yo, imagine a poetry cipher. Even just battling face to face. I saw that in real time. Like folks just crowding around and folks
I've
just
done
poems.
that,
Oh, you done that? That's
dude. That's what
crazy.
I'm saying.
That
Like
I was like, what is going
it
on?
is.
That's
It's
just,
crazy.
folks like, oh, and
It's
then
crazy.
dude lose and then someone else step up, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
But I didn't do it in Philly though. See, I
Yeah,
know you being in Philly was a whole different.
it was like, well, this is after the slam. This is just folks just chilling.
Right, right, right.
And yeah, we were just drinking, doing partying and stuff, and we were just folks were just it was just crazy. I've never seen a poetry cipher like folks battling, folks just freestyling poetry. It was amazing, and all different shades, all different backgrounds, genders, ages, everybody. Everybody just getting along, just for the love of poetry, and it was amazing. It was probably one of the greatest experiences in my life.
I
Um,
second that motion.
yeah, so to see that, like, I wish more people would be able to see that. Because even with, I'm a teacher, I teach ninth and 10th grade English. My students, when I teach poetry, a lot of them, they never experienced it in their life. And a lot of them, they have these preconceived notions, like, it's stupid, it's boring. And, like, when people have that notion, like they need to see like these
No,
competition slams. They need to see a poetry cipher in real time. Like then you see they this shit's real and it's big and it's people are very passionate about it. Yeah,
I love poetry.
yeah.
How do you think? I don't know, because I know I define myself as a poetry. But
You're a poem, my dear.
oh no,
Oh.
people have written poems about me. Believe that.
Mm.
For sure, for sure. I have poems that people written about
I've
me.
had it more of a limerick. There was once a guy from Nantucket. No, never mind.
I know that.
I don't know what to say.
No, it's just that
No,
you don't
it's
want us
bad.
to say it. It always ends up with something bad.
It was bad. That's that
It was
comedian
once-
coming out of you talking about
It is the comedian,
and
yeah.
Nantucket rhymes with
Who
F-U-C-K-I-T.
couldn't make
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
money, he had to.
Okay, boom.
Okay, boom.
So let's say $10 million just flew in your pocket.
This is some
Okay,
big
boom.
pockets.
I
Yes,
know, right?
That's what she said.
That's the comedian coming out. Man.
What would, okay, I'm just saying money, okay, not just saying 10 million, but what would success look like for you?
That's a good question. What is success? Hmm. It's not the money. I mean, 10 million would be great. But no, it's about legacy. It's about legacy.
Hmm.
My book is dedicated to my dad. May he rest in peace. He passed away about 8 years ago. It's also dedicated to my best friend I was talking about. And so like success right now is being able to talk about them and being able to show off my book that's dedicated to them. So that's a success that their names are able to live on. Like folks who don't even know who they are, they can pick up my book and see them in the dedication. Also, people who read the book, like they learn more about my best friend who passed away. So success is carrying on their legacy. Also creating a legacy for myself. Um, I don't have any kids, at least as far as I know. That's a joke. But I so what I want to leave behind or would be my books. Like sorry, it's saying the tangent. It's saying tangent. There's a Denzel Washington movie. Denzel's one of my favorite actors. There's a Denzel Washington movie called Book of Eli.
I've never seen that movie.
It's a little bit slow, but it's good. It's an apocalyptic movie. So anyway, long story short, in the future, there's no electricity. It's like Mad Max out there. It's all super crazy. So Denzel Washington, he's going around and he's like going around trying to collect books. So in the future, the only thing that's sacred,
see that movie.
the only thing sacred and most valuable thing in the future is water and books. And I imagine like, okay, and that book and just that movie was like, oh, that kind of just like in the end, 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, we're all dirt and dust. Maybe my book will still be there. But even after I pass away, hopefully in a long, long, long time, my book will still live on past. So success is seeing just I wouldn't even know if it happened, but success is just my legacy carrying on.
Okay, so you know your what did you say? Was that your intro prologue? How did you say it?
Yeah, it was prologue.
Okay, prologue.
Yeah.
I've never used that word in my life.
It's all good.
Okay,
Most people
good.
don't.
Yeah, right. I was just like, what's a prologue? Okay, so it was very poetic. Would you mind reading us one of your poems and giving us a little bit more about your other two books? That's a pretty dope title. I was, am, will be. Oh, okay, you got it all tatted up.
Yeah,
too.
that sounds serious.
Okay. You about that life, huh?
Yeah, I got my
Book
title.
life.
Yeah. Got my book titled on my chest. Nah, you imagine me put broken pencils on my chest?
That'd be
like
tight.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Walking, and we'll go around with my shirt off, like, oh, broken pencils. No.
Right. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm
No,
totally with it.
Show us again, by the way.
Huh?
Show us
Oh,
again.
so
Cool.
Okay, this would be short story, short story. So I got the title actually while I was living in Greece, and actually I got a tattoo at the same time. A long story short, I was doing a writer's workshop, a writing class in Peros, Greece, one of the Greek islands, and that's where I met George Crane. That's where he was mentoring me. And anyway, I went on this. They had like excursions, so like field trips, and we went to one of the volcanoes on the Greek islands. Their volcanoes are inactive. They're not like spurting up stuff. So anyway, we were hiking around this volcano. Ain't nothing on there. It's all like volcano stuff. And then I walked around this one part, and on the wall of the volcano, it had "I was, I am, I will be," and it was like in graffiti. And I don't know who put it there. I don't know why they didn't clean it up, but it was there. And I remember just looking at it, staring at it, and wrote it down, and it just like hit me like I was, I am, I will be. Like my past, my present, my future. And so like, oh, that's what my book title's gonna be. That's gonna be the theme. Um, yeah, and I didn't want to forget it, so then I got it tattooed on my arm. Probably next week too. Yeah. Um, yeah. What? I'll read something short. Bum, 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 bum. I don't. I usually recite. Is that okay?
Do what you want.
Yeah. Okay. So this piece is Why Write. This is from my book. I was, I am, I will be. A double issue number 2, called Why Write, but the original title is Affirmations. Let's see. I don't remember.
Ice still icing, huh?
Oh, that's a whole other thing. Um, I put ice. I drink ice water that helps me calm down. Like I was nervous coming here.
Why?
Like I don't know, just get nervous. But ice. So just a side note for folks who go through anxiety or something, another mental health thing that I suggest drinking ice water. It usually helps. It helps me calm down, especially when I get the jitters or I'm nervous. So yeah, yeah. So anyway, sorry about that. So this piece is called Affirmations. Why write? I write because at 14, a friend heard me read love poetry about a heart in need. You see, at the time, his heart was at a lost to breathe, because in his mind was the right thought to proceed, instilling my lines, and then offering them off to she. He told me, no suicide to my heart in need. She's alive because your love poem brought relief. So I write because once upon a time I was a lost body. These teenage veins ran trains of painful speech until my 12th grade English teacher taught me how to tame the beast. She gave me a pen and pad with a task after class and said, here's your chain and leash. Go release those highs and lows and in-betweens, and then you'll see all your pain put at ease. So I write, I write because my right fist represents the cut wrist and hand slit of over 1,000,001 slaves forced off hard ships. Their privilege to write and read was stripped. So I write and read everything for everyone missed, because without them, I wouldn't exist. So I write, I write, I write because I'm from East Oakland, the Bay A, bruh, where the murder rate stays at a constant pace, bruh, of someone killed nearly every other day, bruh. Man, my birthplace is a hurt ache, painted walls crafted in madness, though all would gather in sadness to believe they did everything differently, when in fact, ain't nothing changed, bruh. So I write, I write because the moment of relief I receive from completing a written piece is similar to taking a dump. Ooh, after it's been about a week. But not like a sense of relief in the beliefs that 9% of the globe goes to sleep with nothing to eat, no relief. When firefighters, teachers, doctors, police earn less than entertainers and athletes, no relief. When all I see is wealth is health, while the ignorant ingest fake knowledge. So I write, I write, I write because I I don't know how to write right. When what's left becomes right, then death strikes, and I'm left to write about the loss of life. Yet, if I didn't write, I'd have lost my life to suicide. So, who am I to choose sides and cross lines of do or die? Why do I recite lines like an Albert Camus type? The meaning of life is whatever reason you have not to kill yourself. Do I write for self as a cry for help? Do I write tasty trash for massive shelves? Do I write for relief from the beast deeply held? Do I write for the kid who doesn't fit in with no one else? So I write, I write, I write, why, write. Oh.
I'm saying you got it. You can tell you was like you a really like you're not a
You're a performer.
yeah, you're a performer.
I was sitting down.
Thank
Yeah.
you for those extra
Yeah,
words,
thank
Paul, because I sure couldn't get. I'm like, you are a.
Yeah, and so you were talking about invoking a reaction. It's not like, so as a comedian, most other comics go, you're just trying to get laughter. No, I try to get the whole rainbow of emotions. Sometimes I want you upset. Sometimes I want you inspired. Other times I want you laughing.
Yeah.
And so if I can invoke emotion from you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what that does. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
What is your process on getting there in writing? Like, what is your whole thing with writing, performing? Like, what is your creative process?
It has to bounce, has to have a rhythm. So when I memorize a piece, like I know it works if I can just kind of
Right.
just flow with it. If I'm like stumbling on a part or like, oh, this isn't a good rhyme or something, then I know I gotta tweak it. In terms of memorizing was very difficult for me at first. I was very afraid of it. It took me a while. What
Any tricks?
Keep repeating it while you're writing it. So as I'm writing it, I'm rewriting it, I'm reciting it at the same time. So I'm also
You have to hear it, you have to see it, you
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
like visually integrating it.
Yeah. Here's another thing. It's a lot of work. I've done this. If you really want to memorize a piece, so try to do it at an open mic and record yourself, and then
That's true.
like what you said, try to study the video, to study it
And it's the hardest thing for people that don't want to listen to their
Yeah.
voice, but it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, so you have to actually study it 3 ways. Just watch it. So turn the sound off and
Yeah.
just watch yourself and see how what you're doing with your
Yeah.
face and everything. That's the first way. Second way, you just listen to it.
Yeah.
You don't even look at it. You just listen to it. I think the third way, have the subtitles on, and then
I
watch the
love
whole
sub. I
thing.
live by die by subtitles.
Yeah.
And you should watch it in different time intervals. And what I mean by that is, let's say you just performed it tonight. Don't watch it for like about 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then wait a week and watch it again.
Yeah. And I get the self-conscious thing. I didn't like looking at myself either. I was like, man.
Or listening to
Like,
yourself or whatever.
Yeah, look at your face, man. What's going on with your lips? Like, it's just like, being all
I
self-conscious.
Well-
hate looking at myself.
Well, and for people that are doing poetry and even any person on stage, you really don't realize what a small motion or like turn of your nose or an eyelid or something, they can see it. They
Yeah.
can see it in the back row of a big old theater
Yeah.
if your eyebrow goes up. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely study everything.
yeah. And it's gonna happen. I had a lot of brain farts while performing. Just right in the middle of the piece, I'm like, oh, I just forgot everything. Um,
Oh, that is so much a part of it.
yeah, that's a big fear. That's almost like walking on the stage naked. Like, it's just like, oh snap. But I've never had like a crowd boo me or throw tomatoes at me. It's been very forgiving. Yeah, yeah.
How do you juggle everything? Because, and also, okay, so we already talked about a little bit about you being a teacher.
hmm
No, we didn't. We didn't talk enough about that. It just like came up a little bit.
Teaching hard. It's like pimping. It ain't easy.
Wait, so you teach ninth and tenth grade
Yeah, these are
English
yeah, these
in
are
Oakland? What part of Oakland you teach in?
East Oakland by the zoo. I teach
Oh,
at
okay.
Brett'sville Continuation School.
Oh, I graduated from a
Yeah,
continuation school.
yeah,
We had amazing teachers.
yeah. Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. I know I'm doing good work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a lot of good kids, just coming from a lot of just troubled backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of different reasons. Kids, yeah, poverty, incarceration, drug abuse, everything you could think of. Like these kids went through it, and yet they're still trying to get their diploma. They're still trying to succeed in life. So
How do you navigate that? Like for your own mental health, because I know being
it's tough. There's a lot I can't say specify too much. Like
no,
at my school,
absolutely.
there's been a lot of violent situations. Just a few weeks ago, some people got pepper sprayed in a big fight, and the whole hallway smelled like pepper spray, and so stuff like that. At my school, I don't want to talk too negative about my school because I love it, but we've had a lot of violent incidents. I was at my school 2 years ago. We had first like mass shooting in Oakland.
Oh wow.
It was at my school. September 2022. When we had two young boys came onto the campus with semi-automatic weapons, and they shot up the lobby, and they shot six people.
Wow.
So yeah, navigating at my school is tough, and I say all that to say this: like I know, like it's the violence and the negativity that happens at my school is just a reflection of my city and the culture that's happening in their environment outside. That's happening to everybody, and so I know, like with me and my colleagues and the great staff at my school, we're trying to combat that. We're trying to like rehabilitate that and
Do you
help.
think you're getting the proper support as a teacher?
There have been some drawbacks. There's been some
What do
hurdles.
you think? Because I feel like there's a lot of rappers, there's a lot of all these people, and I've seen people. I'm not being passive aggressive, but I'm just saying I've seen people. Like especially now, it's this big thing. Like you got turkey giveaways. You have all these different things, but you as a teacher who's on the front line with these youth who's witnessing the violence in the school, they're in the well, I was about to say remedial, but what is it called, the what kind of school is it? Continuation
Yeah.
school already. So what resources would you like to see from the community
Hmm.
as a teacher? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, that's a good question.
and then I have another question for
That's
you.
fine.
Compile.
A lot. The biggest thing with these kids, and no shade towards their family, no shade towards their family because they're dealing with a lot. They need a lot of support that my colleagues and staff, we can try to provide, but we can't. Like they need caregivers. They need someone to help them with food. They need someone to help them with their finances. Like these kids need all these different things that they're not getting, and they
Right.
need a lot of support. We have, like for example, I have a lot of students, young teen moms, and their thing is they're in continuation school because they can't balance time between taking care of their newborn, their kid, and also trying to
Right.
graduate. So like these kids need support. We've been like trying to advocate for like a daycare or trying to get some kind of uh, something to help these young ladies so that they can attend school and try to pursue a higher education. But it's tough. So if the community, families could just bring in more love and support, that would be great. Because us staff and even the admin, we're overloaded. Even myself.
Mm.
You know.
What is a curator? Because a lot of people have never even.
I had to look it up too. I had to Google it. A curator is someone who curator curates. How do I explain it? So
I think
curator.
they're kind of like a leader. Like they lead the discussion of a. I know as a curator at a museum, an art
Yeah.
museum.
It's like they're the organizer. It's a fancy way of saying the organizer. So I was working. I used to, not used to, but I'm still. I was the host and curator of Social Saturdays. It was an artist showcase that I was doing with a guy named Wid, who's part of a thing to talk about. So we would curate events. And so curating would be finding a location, um, getting vendors, getting artists, getting some kind of production set up. And so curating is almost being also a producer as well, and it's not easy. Um, the only big benefit of it is that just that you can claim like, oh, I did that, like, oh, I set up that event. But most folks don't even know the people in the background. They don't know who
How much
curated
work
it.
it
Nah,
goes into
they'll
this.
know the artist headlining it, but they won't know who actually was responsible for booking the person.
All right, for you folks playing at home, the meaning of curator, she's kidding, is a keeper or custodian of a museum or other collection, or in this case, a person who selects acts to perform at a musical festival.
Nice. I like the custodian part.
There you go. I think Wikipedia.
Shout out Wikipedia. I thought they were like they've been asking for money. Aren't they gonna like close
They always
down?
ask me for money. I ask them for money all the time.
You asked Wikipedia.
Sure, because they ask me.
Yeah.
That's hecka
I'm
funny.
She
trying to
usually
get,
shuts them up though.
oh, I'm trying to get paid on Wikipedia. You know how to do
Dude,
that?
I don't know.
I would love to do that. You can do
Are
it with the
you?
podcast.
You could what?
Get on post podcast. Get on Wikipedia.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't know how to do it.
Me
We'll
either.
help each other.
Well, actually, you know what? I did start. I did start my Wikipedia like a few years ago, and I forgot about it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
right.
Huh.
But so you're a writer, teacher, performer, vendor, curator. What is the most rewarding out of everything?
Me personally, it's being an author, writing. Take a lot of passion in that, and just even as a kid, I would always write stories. I used to write. I used to do comics
Me
with my
too. When I was
friends.
a kid, I
Used to
did.
do comic strips. I just always been a storyteller, and so just that's been the biggest reward for me. Um, I I think spiritually, I've always been a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a spiritual journey a while back, and I on a nice trip, and on during this trip, the special trip, I was seeing a lot of different things, and I remember I was by a tree in redwoods, and I was talking to this tree because in this tree I saw God in this tree.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and this tree was telling me about my past lives, and then this tree was showing me about my past lives. I was seeing all this. I was tripping balls. So anyway, there's a point to my story. Trust me, there's a point to my story. So then this tree was showing my past lives, and in my past lives, I saw that I was this kind of nomad, this person, this teacher, the storyteller who would go from village to village, and he would just share these stories and teach the kids and share these different narratives about the things he's seen. And then once he would teach the whole community and they love him and stuff, he would move on and go to another community. And so this storyteller would just move on and keep going and be known around the country as the storyteller. And so anyway, I was on this trip and the tree was showing me that in my past life I was this storyteller. And that who I am now is just a reincarnation of that past life. So going back to your questions, I think the biggest reward is being the author and being a storyteller because I also think that's my true purpose, my calling.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I try to go back to that tree.
Where's that trip? Is it in Oakland Hills?
It was in, I think, the Redwood Park or
Or
something.
the redwood forest up
Yeah.
north of like Mendocino.
They got one right in Oakland, though.
Yeah, I think I was over there. But I went back to the tree when I wasn't in trip mode, and the tree didn't give
I
me
didn't
that
want to
story
talk
back.
to you.
No, just being shy
Right.
tree.
Yeah, it's funny what bark and wood grain will do.
Yo, the wavies.
Yeah, right. It's like it starts illustrating a story for you.
Oh my.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't look at your skin either. It's like, wow.
No, one time, man, I hope my mom's not watching. But
I'm
one
sorry.
time, like you could see the light reflecting, and you could see in the air, like the molecules in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa, I can see.
Oh my God, I could not.
No, you never did this show.
Hell no. Mm-mm.
It's scary at first, but then once you kind of let it go and just let go and just
You
let it
feel
take you.
very in tune with everything
Yeah.
around you, including the trees.
Yeah. And it comes down
Yeah.
once after about 4 hours.
There is a time limit.
Yeah.
You know, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we about to wrap up our time. Is there
We're wrapping
any?
up?
Yeah. Look at the time.
This went by so
It's
quick.
6:00 on the
Drop,
dot.
drop.
So is there anything that you like just to conclude this time, or do you have any, you actually have a lot of events coming up?
Yes, I do. This is a super busy week. Tomorrow I'm going to be at the Happy Ending show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's what I thought. They
Yeah, that's
hey,
right.
we're at Happy Endings. You want to do a show with us? And they're at the Makeout Room. Yeah.
Where's this?
This is in San Francisco over here.
That sounds like it's
Makeout
in
Room, San Francisco, Happy Ending show tomorrow at 7. Then I'm going to be at the Power of Petals.
Oh, I need to get there.
They're cool. That's a lot of dispensary, which is crazy. Crazy. Imagine the poetry showcase in the dispensary. They got a whole stage and everything.
That's dope.
Then I'm hosting my first open mic. All of y'all
Oh.
invited. My first open mic is going to be at Bookmark Bookstore this Saturday.
Where at?
Bookmark Bookstore is in Oakland. It's
Wait, is it the 14th this Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go.
Folks are busy. I know there's a lot going on. Yeah. But if you want to stay in tune, hit up my website, jrrice.com. Stay up to date. Yeah.
What about your social medias? Like, do you have a
Jay
YouTube?
Rice. I am on YouTube, not too active. YouTube is hard. It's hard to get like folks showing up and stuff. Like, power to you. You doing? Yeah, this is tough. But yeah, I am active on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. Not too much on TikTok, but yeah.
And your
Yeah.
Instagram's right there on the other side of your book. You can't see it; it's invisible.
Okay.
It's over there.
But yeah, feel free to. My book's also available on Amazon. I Am, I Will Be. It's still selling for about $5. And then also Broken Pencils is available. If you see me on the street or see me at the events, feel free to hit me up. I'll sign up for you as well. Yeah. It's been a wild journey, but this also been a dream. Like, it's crazy. A year ago, this time, Broken Pencils was just a Google Doc. And yeah, this was all just a dream. And a year later, like wouldn't imagine like I'd be here, like speaking to y'all, talking about this a year ago. So it's pretty crazy. So
Congratulations.
I'm very blessed. Thank you so much for this
For
opportunity.
coming. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So make sure y'all stay tapped in. He's a dope poet. I actually didn't even know that we were gonna be at this. We were
That was
bending, and I was looking, and I had my little natural curly afro. You know, I still have my makeup on a little bit.
Really good.
And I think, oh yeah, I thought it was cute too, right? But you know, I'm like, oh, dude, you're coming to my show. He was like, we never even expected. So we both happened to be vending at the same event and performing. So I had the opportunity of watching him perform live. So that was a
Yeah.
pleasure, and it
I'm
was
glad I
good.
got to see you too.
Oh my God, I was with the bullshit.
You did it.
I did.
Yeah.
So this is your host with the most, your ghetto poet, Bella Martrice. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure if this is really for me. Like I really want us to get together and make something out of it. So if you are a podcaster, if you have events coming up, reach out to my guests, and even my guests, I want you guys to like cross pollinate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm always willing to work with other people myself also, and let's keep it really positive and happy Monday party people. Thank you again. Thank you, Paul. And I'm out. Peace.
Hey.
Peace.